Yo, what is up, YouTube? Showback here with another video. I just want to highlight real quick. It makes me so happy seeing all the comments about you guys trying out Mutilate. I'm telling you, man, it's a revolution. It is the spec to play. And on top of that, not only am I seeing a bunch of people playing Mutilate now, I'm seeing a lot of comments about my UI, and that is what this video is about. First thing, guys, go into the video description and click on the link to join the Discord, all right? Inside our Discord, we have an add-ons thread. That has a link to a Google Drive with my entire PvP add-on UI pack, all right? So go in there and download that and add it into your interface folder. Once you've done that, now we're ready to configure it to exactly how I have it, and then you can change and make any personal changes that you guys would like, all right? So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to go into interface. We're going to go to add-ons. We're going to Rouge WOTLK. We're going to go to unit frames, all right? You're going to copy exactly what I have here. Display numeric HP as 1 decimal. I personally like this because you don't see like 20K/20K. You just see 19K. It's really, really clean. Mod UI nameplate styles. You can have this. It does not override Plater, but it kind of creates a new, it kind of creates a cool add-on for like totems. It's just like it's a default, but with black. It's kind of cool. You can have this on or not. It's totally fine. Apply mod UI border theme. You want to have this on because this creates a really cool aesthetic. And then add class color outline to frames. That's what you see here. And it makes it pop and look so freaking good. All right. Another thing that is kind of personal preference is the personal aura and target aura sizes. So this is where you can go and change the actual debuff sizing. I have for personal 19. So that's like if I rupture someone, it's going to show the aura size as like a little bit bigger. And then for their buffs, I have it as 18. So mine's going to be a little bit bigger. But then 18 is going to be for all of their buffs. And I think it looks really, really good. Okay. Next, we have tweaks. Highlight enemies important magic and rage buffs. I am playing with this. This is like, as a rogue, you never see the things that you can debuff or you can dispel. And with this, you actually see it. So for example, you have like bubble, you have aura mastery. These things are going to be highlighted and you can choose to have them non-highlighted or not. I'm still toying with this because it is new. I like it, but the one thing is I find that paladins and priests ends up having like 10 things glowing and large. So I'm trying to still see in the heat of the moment if it makes sense or just to keep it all clean and then just look for the icon. But yeah, you can play with this. Cast spell on key press down and animated key press. I have this on because say for example, like look how I'm kicking. It makes that cool shiny thing. And it's just kind of like a little aesthetic thing that looks really good. Here I have high glow on player flame. I have hide group / raid title. I just have it like super clean. You can also have this and have a group 1 with the party frame or party leader. Hide aggro, hide stance bar, hide hotkeys. I just have all these. They don't really apply to me, but I just have them all hidden. Next thing we want to do is we want to go over to easy frames. Okay. This is what we're going to be kind of deep diving in and getting everything looking really, really good. First, you want to click on easy frames. And then you want to go over to class colored health bars. We want to have this on. If you end up choosing class colored HP bars on your Rouge WOTLK and you accidentally do this and you accidentally have the easy frames on as well, there's going to be 2 health bars. So make sure that you're not messing up on that. Okay, guys? Make sure you have Rouge unchecked and easy frames checked. For textures, I found that the solid makes the nameplates pop with such a vibrant color that matches the Rouge outline frame. So my personal favorite is solid. And again, you can go into this and do whichever one that you want to do, but I love the solid. All right. Border frame by default is going to be slid over to light. I have this slid over to dark, so it's a darker UI frame. I think it goes really well with the contrast of the bright circle. So go ahead and slide that down. Turn on custom buff sizes. I have this 18 and 20. You can turn these off. No matter what add-on you use, whether it's easy frame or Rouge, they won't interfere. They won't bug out. And they'll just kind of go with whatever you have set. So mine, I just use the Rouge and I do 19 and 18. So you can go ahead and disable these if you so choose to. Then you can scroll down here and there's really nothing else that I've changed. So now we can move on to player. First, we have the HP and MP bars. I turn mine up to 15. You can turn it up even more. This just makes it so that the health bar number is fairly large. And I actually think it looks good large because it's already condensed. And so it's condensed and large, makes it super easy to see. and keep track of. So I really, really like that. And I keep everything for the most part the same. I haven't changed anything in regards to the font styles or anything like that. I do like to have the show player name, and I do have it on 12. I like a fairly larger name just because I'm a kind of an RP nerd. So I like to see my own name, and I like to see the name of the player that I'm going up against. So there, I make sure I have enable hit indicators. You always want to make sure that you have the hit on your frame, just in case if you have bleeds on you, you need to vanish in between a tick, something like that. You can go ahead and copy these things. The other stuff doesn't really do anything, so I just have those enabled. And then next, we're moving on to the target. I just have this matching my players, so I just kind of copy the same setup as my target, and then again with the focus, I have it set up the same, except for my focus is going to be a little bit smaller, if you see here. So I don't have the name as large, and I don't have the health as large, but I keep it consistent with the sizing. So it doesn't like, you know, very large name, a little smaller plate, right? So I have that all consistent. And that's going to be it for the nameplate. Absolutely it. Next, we're going to go into move and improve. So when you download, you're going to have move and improve. And what I do is I go into the elements and I scroll all the way down and I grab focus frame, player frame, target frame, focus frame spell bar, target frame spell bar, and I take target of target. So the reason why I do all of those, you want to click on those, enable them, and then you want to hit save. It's going to reload like that. That's totally normal. And then you want to click unlock. So the reason why I have target of target enabled is in Wrath of the Lich King, the target of target is actually set a little bit farther back, where if you have a full row of dots, the target of target is actually going to be blocking some of your debuffs. So there are times where like dude's in a kidney shot and I can't even see when the duration's ending. So what I do for the target of target is I shrink it down to a scale of 0.07 and I tuck it directly underneath the nameplate. So it has a really nice kind of setup where it's not cutting off any of the buffs and it's also not consuming the player frame, and it doesn't also look out of place. This is, again, personal preference. You can play around with this as any which way you like, but I definitely would recommend you having it centered and squared off away from the health bar. The debuffs don't really pass the mana bar, but you just want to make sure that the target of target is not crossing that. So it's very, very important. I wanted to highlight that. Next, we have my frames. I scale my normal player frames to 1.1, and you can just click on this to increase it. And then my set focus frame is a normal scale 1 as well. So again, this is something that you can toy around with. Sizing is very, very personal preference here. There isn't any sort of like go-to or what's min-max meta. So please feel free to change it however you like. Something that I do recommend that I am a very big fan of is the cast bars being on top of the frame. So what this does is, say for example, I'm in arena and I'm looking here, right? I'm looking at these debuffs, right? Like, oh, does the guy, like for example, does the warrior use shield wall, or does the paladin use bop, or, you know, what's going on here with all these debuffs? This is where my eyes are gravitating towards. It's so nice to have the cast bar on your focus above, because when you're looking down here, your focus, you can actually keep track of what's incoming. So for example, a sheep's coming or a heal's coming. It's so much more easier to look here while still being able to keep track of what the focus target is doing. And the reason why a lot of the times when you have it underneath, it's actually too far for you to even notice. So having it both on top is actually really, really good because it keeps everything in the peripheral. So with that, it's a very easy change. We want to go over here and we want to go to move and improve. We want to unlock. And what I do for the rule of thumb is the icon, I have it set above the name, and I have the icon not passing the end tail of the health bar of the nameplate. So from there, it creates a very, very clean aesthetic while also allowing me to keep track of everything. So I highly, highly recommend that. To edit out the action bar, what I do is I use dominoes. So you want to go click here on the map, click on dominoes, and you're probably going to see a bunch of things here. So what I do, and it's a rule of thumb, is I, first off, I bind everything to all my interface stuff I have binded. So my escape for panel, Alt Z for my bags, Control B, Control Z for my bags, you know, my spec, everything is bound. So I don't need my bags and I don't need my interface. So what I do here on Dominoes is I actually just right click. So to change anything in, Dominoes, you click on the section and then you just right click, right? So I go to fading and I just turn the opacity to 0. I don't need to see my bags. I don't need to see my menu. I know the binds for them. Get it out the way, free real estate, right? So when you start your Dominoes journey with getting your action bars set up, what you want to make sure is that all of your cooldowns that are necessary to know when they are up, like Cloak of Shadows, Vanish, Dismantle, Blind, Trinket, Preparation, have all the cooldowns together on the same bar, keybind that bar, and then what you can do is you can hide all of the other bars. So like my action bar 1, 3, 4, 7, all of these are actual action bars with, you know, my step sap, my step kick, my step shadow step, my focus blind. But I don't need to see my focus blind. I just can have my normal blind bind. Once my blind is up, I know it. I know my focus blind. So you don't need to see the duplicates, and it just consumes more space, and it just consumes more of your just like attention. So I try to minimize all of those distractions, and I do that by conglomerating all of my cooldowns on 1 to 2 bars, have them all next to each other, bind those 2 bars, and then all of my other stuff, my focus, my poisons, like whatever, all the other fluff stuff, my hemo, my backstab, my mutilate, all those things that you already know by muscle memory, you just put them on the other binds, and then you hide them, slide them to the right, and then boom, you got an ultra clean, super minimalistic UI. And there you have it. Guys, it's really just that simple. This is the UI. Very simple, very clean. Next we have, though, is Gladius. If you guys like my Gladi, this is how I like it. And I will show you how to get it just like this. So first off, you want to go to General, and you want to have the frame scale to 0.85. You want to have the frame width to 185, and then you want to have the margins set to 51. I have the margins rather larger because I find that sometimes in the mists of Arena, when the frames are a little bit too closer, I mistake the cast bars for the wrong person. So like if they're too close, I think the mage is casting, but it's actually the druid, or I don't know if it's a druid casting or it's the mage. And I just like to have a little bit more spacing, and I like to have the cast bars actually offset, so they're not cut off with the health bar, but they're actually set to poke out a little bit more. So when I'm arenaing, that the cast bar starts here, so I see the cast instead of it being kind of tucked inside the nameplate. So you just slide the cast bar out how much and however you like. So I just do about a quarter. Sometimes I've done halfway, but right now I'm just doing a quarter. So now that we have the margin out, we go to announcements. I kind of turn off everything other than interrupts. I mean, personally, I have the nameplates or the name bubbles. Personally, I have the chat bubbles turned off, so you can't even see this. So you can go ahead and have that turned off. Arena countdown I have enabled because it's really nice to know just, you know, in the big numbers. Auras, I haven't changed anything. Buffs and debuffs, I turn off. I like to have it simple and clean. I don't need to see a lot of stuff. There are too many important things happening in the moment that because I like to even, you know, I run double DPS, that I'm not really sometimes seeing the debuffs. You know what I'm saying? We don't need that. Cast bar, here we are with the cast bar. Again, I have it set a quarter off. And the reason why I like this way is because it allows me to catch who is casting without getting kind of tripped up. So I have the margins for spacing, and then I have the cast bar slightly outwards, so it clips my eye and my attention like, oh wait, they're fucking casting. So that's my cast bar. My bar height is 23 and the bar width is 324 if you want to copy it. Next, we have class icon. I think this is actually super important. I do not see anyone doing this. You go class icon, but also show spec icon. What's so important about this is once an arena starts, you know what you're going up against. It's not just a druid. It's not just a pally. You know what druid, you know what pally, you know what shaman. So you identify with the spec icon and you instantly know. And that 1 second, 2 second at a start of an arena actually plays a big role, especially when you're sprinting in, you're kind of trying to set up that match in that opener. Clicks, make sure that sometimes Gladius is buggy. You do left button and it's set to target. Combat indicator, I do not have. Cooldowns, I have off. Diminishings, I have enabled. Now, I do not care for dynamic. I do full 20 seconds. I don't do 15. I don't do 18. I do not and hate losing to a game where the dynamic DR just kills me. I'd rather play it safe, 20 seconds, no questions asked. Icon size, I have it set to 40. And then the icon width factor is 0.5. With the diminishings, if you notice right here, it's actually not set even with the class icon. And I do that on purpose because when you look at the DRs and you see and you see this Gladius in actual action, this is kind of an overload, right? I have triple cast, quadruple add-on or quadruple diminishings, but it actually sections off the diminishings per nameplate, like per class or arena 1, 2, 3, rather nicely versus it being the same size. The breaking of the stack allows you a little bit easier to digest the information and categorize it to the proper arena 1, 2, 3. Because when it's stacked and then you also have the cast bars like stacked as well, it's just a gigantic fucking cube on the right side of your screen that you have to like instantly process in a split second and make a decision. And it's just like, it's just squared off. So what I did is I tried to stretch it out, like separate it, give some breathing room, minimalize the icons, having it spec so I instantly can understand in the beginning of the match what we're going up against. I have the cast bar sliced out a little bit so it's catching my eye, so it's the farthest thing out, because a lot of times you're only going to have 1 to 2 diminishings. Then I squish a little bit, but I move up the diminishings to give that more breathing room so my eyes can easily identify what I'm looking at. And with that, I will also highlight in diminishings, I change some of the things that I see. I don't need to see some of the categories. And it's funny because I just did this on my undead rogue, and I guess I don't have it on this one. For example, this is perfect. Now we can actually really deep dive in this. I don't need to see the root DR. Root DR is going to cause me anxiety. I need to see sheep, and I need to see fear. I need to see blind, bro, and stun. I don't need to see random stuns. I'm not playing with the Torn. I'm not playing with the Warrior. Maybe with the Fire Mage or something, but like or like a Demo Log. I don't know. Shadow Fury. I don't even think random stun's going to show up. So you can just remove that. Random roots. I don't need to see a root. This little Skull Frost, this is going to give me anxiety when it's stacked with sheep and it's stacked with fear and it's stacked with stun. I don't need to see that, right? Mind control, I need to see. Opener stun, I need to see. Disarm, I don't need to see disarm. If I disarm a warrior, I don't need to see the DR of disarm. It'll never be on there. So why am I going to disarm a warrior and then add another icon that's just going to cause anxiety? Simplicity is key here, especially in arena. You want to minimize the added information and you want to just have what is relevant and important without over too much, because there's already too many things happening, right? We're dealing with so much already. So we don't need charge. We don't need counterattack. Cyclone, I think we need. Disarm, we don't. Fear, we do. Horrors, I think we do. Horrors? That's with stun. We need horrors. Incapacitates, we need. Mind control, we need. Opener stuns, no. Random roots, no. Scatters, I don't think we need scatters. I'm never playing with a hunter. Silences we need, and stuns we need. Boom, done. Easy claps. So here we're gonna have the health bar. I have it set to 38, and then we are going to do power bar. I have enabled, and then racial I have disabled. Range check I have enabled, and then shadow sight timer I have enabled. And then totem plates, I actually want to have off. Totem plates are insane. Maybe I could have cleansing totem disabled, earth disabled, fire disabled. Only thing I want enabled is grounding and tremor. I think that actually might be the only thing I'd like to actually have. Because this would be, I mean, I'm learning right now, bro. We are learning right now. Just literally remove everything. So there's no other than tremor. I guess you can do, no, I honestly think like Wind Fury you can have up too, just in case. But like, dude, tremor and grounding, just have those two. Don't need this. Booyah, baby. And there you have it. That's going to be some coolness right there, boys. And trinkets I have enabled. And then there it is. So if you want to deep dive into it, I'm going to export this out. And I'm also going to add this into the Discord. All right, guys. So you have the Gladius downloaded. That's all set. Now it's time to move on to the nameplates and having the class icons next to the nameplate. First, I want to add, when you download the pack inside the Discord, do note that inside the folder, which I won't have to open up here, I apologize, it's closed. Inside the folder, you're going to have icons_circular. Make sure that this is outside the add-ons folder, which if you just download my folder and replace it with your interface, or if you're just adding it, just make sure the icon circular is outside and not inside your add-on folder. It's inside your interface folder, but not inside your add-ons. This will allow the weak aura to work properly so you can get the class icon next to your nameplate, which the weak aura is also posted as a text file inside the Discord. So make sure you can get everything inside the Discord. The Gladius import, the nameplate plater import, the weak aura import, and as well as all the add-ons import. So first what we want to do, if you like these, is go over to profiles, go over to import, go inside the Discord, and then grab your plater text, copy the string, post it in, and voila, there you have it. Super clean, minimalist, very easy to understand, very easy to keep track, low key, but still present nameplates that I personally love and have created. Now, one thing I will mention with the weak aura, which is also inside the Discord, you're going to have to play with the class icon a little bit, and you're going to move the X offset anchor to get the icon a little closer to the nameplate. See how it just moves it? So from there, that is all you have to do, is just toy a little bit with the offsetting, and that is going to be how you can get it. And there's a little test here, which I don't know if is as accurate. It seems to be a little bit off. So don't worry if it's a little overlapping on the tester. It should be fine. So from here, I'm thinking that will be good. I can live with that. And that is it for the plater and class icons on the nameplates. There it is. That's the UI. You now have the Showback UI. You can make any changes that you would like, tweak it, sauce it up. There it is. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's your boy Showback. Stay mutilate. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.